What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This week we're checking out collector tattoos. So we're gonna keep it kind of topical. We won't go too deep with these since they aren't sent in by the tattooer or the apprentice. I'm just gonna give you my personal opinion on what I like and what I might do different. Either way, let's check them out. Alright, the first one is sent in by Summer, and Summer, you sent in this self-titled Cheese Wench from When You Were a Cheesemaker. Well, I know what I'm going as for Halloween this year. First impressions are, this one makes me laugh. Really cool idea, especially for a cheesemaker. I didn't know you could use cheese holes as pockets. Ingenuity, folks. I love the fact that she's got a little piece of cheese in her hand as well. This one's just really funny. I really like the idea of this one. She does have some wobbly looking arms, especially her left arm. It's pretty thick, and then her left forearm gets really thin. So maybe she was just going hard on bicep day. Lifting a whole lot of cheese, if you know what I mean. I don't even know what I mean. The flower is kind of odd. It just looks like a red cabbage up top. A weird choice for a weird tattoo. I get the flowers on the shoes, that kind of makes sense, but the flower on the head, I don't know, it just seems out of place. I do wish the hair was shaded a bit more black. It just seems kind of too open for my personal taste. Summer, is this what they made you wear at the cheese factory? I think it would have made a lot more sense if that rose wasn't there and they made you wear a cheese helmet.
Ooh, you can't hurt me! You can't hurt me! Not with my cheese helmet! Not with my cheese helmet!
Anyway, let's get back to the technical side of things. The one thing that bothers me about the holes in the cheese is the two holes in front don't really line up. And if that were an actual hole in cheese, I think that those two would line up a bit more. But I guess I don't know that much about cheese. I guess I'm saying there wouldn't really be a line through it like that. I think that thumb on her left hand is pretty small in comparison to the other fingers. I think if you extended those fingers, they would be rather long, almost like E.T. fingers.
E.T. home phone.
There are definitely a couple little wobbles in the lines here and there, and the shading isn't super smooth, but other than that, this tattoo is very fun. And that's what these kind of tattoos are for, just to make you laugh. So not a bad job on that one. But you also sent in this face hugger from the movie Alien. Now I'm gonna say something that might upset a lot of people, and I've never seen the movie Alien, or Aliens, or Prometheus.
Of course you haven't.
I don't know why a lot of people recommend it to me. Maybe I'll get there one day. I don't really know what this reference looks like. All I see are a bunch of nipples on these fingers. And that bottom part really looks like a veiny Anyway, you get the idea. The chin does protrude quite a bit. I think if we were to remove the face hugger, she'd have an awfully weird looking face. A little Jay Leno-esque.
That's why I use Just for Chins. Simply apply once a day, then watch your jaw grow to manly proportions in just 3 weeks. I guess Just for Chins really worked, huh?
Yeah, but next time I'll remember to wear a glove.
But other than that, the execution really isn't too bad. There are a couple little areas that don't seem super well saturated, like the black leaves that are coming off the flower. The black just doesn't go wall to wall like it should. And I know I'm getting nitpicky here, but there is a finger, I guess is what you call them, that's going into the hair that looks like it disappears around the curl. I think that should be extended just a little bit more to hide behind that hair. And since the artist did decide to use some pinks in a traditional style tattoo, I think they also could have explored with some other colors as well. Since the facehugger does get lost in the hair a bit, maybe boost those greens up a bit, make it a little more electrifying. Give it some more contrast. But other than that, this is a really cool mashup of styles. You've got the traditional lady face with the sci-fi facehugger. And that's always nice to see when people have fun with their tattoos, much like the Cheese Wench. So you've got a couple really neat pieces, Summer. Thank you so much for sending those over. All right, the next one up is from Ant. And Ant, you sent over this what I think is a Nas Veratu tattoo. You did send over the progression of the tattoo from the outlining to the shading to the color. And I gotta be honest, I think I like the black shading more than I do the final result. This crazy bright green, electrified blue Nas Veratu. I don't know, this is just a strange one. I think we could tell from the outline that this was probably gonna be a weird one. And maybe you're a weird dude, I don't know. I don't know you. I don't really know what to say about this thing because it does have a good amount of black shading to it, so I can't knock off points for that. I think it's just the green that's really throwing me off. It's just so electrifying that my eyes only go to the green and not the Nas Veratu himself. I think if I were to have seen the drawing from the get-go, I probably would have asked the artist to change it up a bit, because this just isn't my cup of tea. And I do think it's just the border itself. It just seems so very unnecessary. Like, I think the face would have been just fine by itself. Although it doesn't seem like there's a lot of contrast in the face either when it comes to the eyes and the teeth, all that is just very dark. Those are the 3 spots that I probably would have left open and made it nice and bright just to give it some good contrast. But instead we have the super bright green background that just kind of pulls my eyes towards that. I mean, what if you're gonna go do the whoopee and you take off your shirt and you scare the poor girl or guy? Or maybe that's how you gauge on who you're gonna keep. If they can handle that, they can handle anything. If they can handle that monster, then get a load of this. I mean, I just don't know what to say about this thing. If you like it, then more power to you. But thank you so much, Ant, for sending that in. All right, the next tattoo comes from Russell, and Russell, you said this tattoo took 2 sessions at 8 hours apiece. Now, I know a lot of people like this style of tattoos. I'm personally not a huge fan, so my opinion will be biased. It just comes off really boring to me, like it's an armful of trees and a cartoon deer. And it just reminds me of something I'd pick up at Walmart. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Walmart, I still go shopping there from time to time. I don't know, it just seems like a whole lot of wasted space, in my personal opinion. Like if you're gonna make a landscape, you know, maybe throw in some hills, a waterfall, make it interesting. But a bunch of silhouettes of trees just, it's not my jam. It does look like the artist tried to throw an outline around the deer to bring it forward, but I think it was a swing and a miss, because it seems like it's on the same plane as the rest of those trees. I think possibly making the deer brighter or less of those similar tones would have done it justice. I also feel like I've seen this tattoo done over and over and over again, which is fine. I mean, you like what you like, and I dislike what I dislike. This just happens to be one of them. There's just something up with the deer where it makes him look so flat, and I'm pretty sure it's because the same tones were used in the deer as the background. When trying to work atmosphere in a tattoo, you generally want to lighten things as they go in the background, which the artist kind of did. But there's also a lot of solid blacks in the background, and there's also those same solid blacks in the deer, so it just kind of flattens everything out. I can obviously tell there is an owl silhouette in the background, but it makes me wonder what those other silhouettes are, because they don't look like animals. That could be a sloth in the tree to the right. I don't know, it just looks like some kind of marsupial.
Is a sloth a marsupial?
I think so.
We could just say it.
Is a sloth a marsupial?
No, sloths are not marsupials. They are placental.
My bad, I thought sloths were marsupials. They are placental animals. Now you know. The texture in the deer is a little bit weird because you've got the same texture in the trees in the background and the atmosphere that the tattoo has. I don't think a deer would have this kind of texture, but I'm not out galloping with a bunch of deer, so what would I know? The sun rays that are coming through the trees in the background don't really look like sun rays. They just seem like a bunch of lines because the artist didn't know how to pull off that effect. Again, I know I'm being biased, but I'm just not a fan, but thank you so much, Russell, for sending that over. Real quick, I want to take a break and give a shout out to the sponsor of this channel, Mad Rabbit. Mad Rabbit is a tattoo aftercare company that I've been using for quite some time, and I think you ought to give it a try as well. They've got all types of products to help you out with your tattoo. Whether that's during or after, they've got you covered. So head on over to madrabbit.com, fill up your cart, and make sure to use code PONY20 to save 20% off of your entire order. All right, let's get back to it. All right, the next tattoo is sent in from Dekota, and Dekota, you mentioned in the email that this is your first tattoo. You also mentioned that you showed it to your husband, and your husband mentioned that he has seen better tattoos on our apprentice videos. So tell your husband, thanks for watching. And he's not wrong, because this thing is rather messy, to say the least. But I mean, that's what I would have expected from that original drawing. It looks like a doodle on a bar napkin, to be honest. I don't know if those are scales on the snake's back or a chain link fence. That snake goes hard. And he must go hard if he's able to bend that knife like that. Technically, they did it right if they were going off the drawing. But again, if I would have seen that drawing, I probably would have went to a different artist because obviously their skill is nil. I'm assuming there's got to be some meaning to this tattoo, as I do see a semicolon in the top. But other than that, I don't know, this thing is just a mess. You mentioned that the artist has been tattooing for a few years, and I'm quite surprised because, as your husband said, I've seen apprentices that are doing leaps and bounds better work than this. I know I'm being harsh, but there's just not one good line throughout this entire tattoo. I don't know what that design was supposed to be behind the snake. Obviously, it's not making any sense because it's covered by the snake. You can't really see any part of the belly of the snake except for the very bottom, which there are no belly lines. I don't know, Dekota. This thing's pretty rough. I'm hoping you and your husband didn't fight over this tattoo, and if you did, then you might owe him an apology. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't really think there's any fixing this one, but thank you so much for sending that over. All right, the next tattoo sent over is from Yunyang out of China, and Yunyang, you sent over this, well, I've seen this before. Again, you know I'm gonna be biased because we've already talked about it. Just not the biggest fan of wasting so much space with trees and background. And it almost looks like that deer's ear is pierced. It is a piercing! Weird choice. Yeah, I mean, I will say something positive about this tattoo. The foreground, where you've got the little puddle of water and the rocks, I mean, that looks pretty good. I just wish the rest of the tattoo looked as good as the foreground. I know in the reference the antlers are on fire, but if we look at just the tattoo, it almost looks like a stab at gold work or something like that, because they're not really coming off as flames. And the deer's head didn't translate that well into the tattoo either, because that head looks massive compared to that body. But unlike the other deer tattoo, at least the textures in this deer make a lot more sense, rather than just a bunch of dots everywhere. Actually, there are dots in the background on this tattoo, so I don't know what the thing is with artists putting dots in their forest backgrounds, but here we are. I really can't get over those ear piercings. The artist is probably like, how do we make this thing different? Throw some piercings on this deer. Call it a day. I mean, at least this deer stands out more than the other one because of the very light background. But still, like I said with the last one, I just wish there was something else going on in this tattoo. Something in the background. Let's give it some interest. A nice mountainscape would be perfect. You've got the room, so why not? But again, the color just throws me off because that's right where my eyes go, and it doesn't look like flames. It just looks out of place. When we look at the reference, it looks like the background trees are supposed to be some type of watercolor, but it doesn't really translate into the tattoo. I just don't know what's up with people getting random deers hanging out in the middle of the woods tattoos. This looks like the 3 Wolf Moon t-shirt trend that we saw so many years ago. But you can't throw this t-shirt away. But at least it will look dope when you are wearing a t-shirt and all you see is that super realistic foreground. I think maybe an additional session might help this tattoo out a bit. The artist can refine those flames, make them look a bit more realistic, and maybe add something more interesting in the background. But as it sits, it's just rather stale, and I've seen this style of tattoo so many other times. But thank you so much, Yunyang, for sending that over. Alright, well I guess this is the part of the show where I have to pick my favorite of the week, which... I guess if I had to pick one, I'd have to go with Summer's Cheese Wench tattoo, which just goes to show you that sometimes creativity trumps the technical ability. Because this week was a little rough, guys, I'm not gonna lie. But at least Summer's tattoo brought a smile to my face and it was fun to talk about. So congratulations, Summer, on being my favorite this week, I guess. Alright, now that's gonna wrap it up for the critiques this week, but you know I gotta shine a spotlight on an artist who I think you should all be following. But this week is a little different. This week I want to share with you all the guys that keep me laughing all day long over at my shop, Mayday Tattoo Co. Gary Parisi, who specializes in horror work and a lot of Star Wars tattoos. Garrett Harper, who specializes in black and gray surrealism. Tom Osvat, who you guys have seen on the channel a few times, who likes to do everything from sticker tattoos all the way to landscapes. Similar to the deer we saw this week, but a hell of a lot better. And finally, Ref Corona, who has also been on this show, who likes to do bright, colorful, illustrative tattoos that are just fun to look at. So I want everybody to head on over to Mayday Tattoo Co.'s Instagram page. You'll find all their links over there. Make sure to head on over to their pages, give them all a follow, because they are seriously some of the most amazing artists and some of my best friends. But that's gonna be it. I want to thank everybody for watching, and thank you to all the people who sent in their work. Make sure to subscribe while you're here, and as always, I will see you guys next week.